What up guys, it is Gab and Bren here behind the camera. So thank you so much of those who have been tuning into our travels for the past 6 months in this thing. This is a 2002 Jayco Greyhawk 26 SS RV, but you know what? We realized that we've never given you a proper tour of our home base. So today, that is exactly what we're gonna do. We are gonna walk you through the ins and outs of our RV. We'll even show you guys some before photos from our renovation that we did. So guys, stay tuned and we will show you guys how we live.
Okay, to kick off this tour, we're gonna walk you through the outside and then we're gonna go in the inside. So I will be your tour guide here for the outside. So starting up front here, this is a 2002 on a Ford E450 chassis. One of the reasons we bought it is this is known as a reliable engine, and the person that we bought it from drove all the way from Washington to Key West where we bought it. So we knew that it was capable of the journey, and that was kind of our plan for what we wanted to do, is we wanted to do a big trip in it, so we wanted something reliable. So like Gabby mentioned, this model is called a 26 SS. The total tip to tail length is 27 feet 2 inches. We love that length because it is just long enough to fit. If we back up really far, we can fit in a normal parking space. So we can fit in a normal parking space if there's nothing behind it, just hang off a lot, or we can obviously pull through anytime there's back-to-back sites and just pull into a parking lot there. So it is super nice to maneuver and move around. It's probably 4 or 5 feet bigger than a normal van. So while this thing is way bigger, it's really not that hard to drive. So that's one thing we like for sure. So starting on, this is the passenger side of the RV here. We've got a whole host of storage doors. So on this side, we keep some firewood. We haven't made a fire in a while. We have some sports gear. Honestly, we don't even use this storage that much. This RV is a really good size for us, and I wouldn't even say we're taking it to the limits or anything. Like, we could definitely go smaller than this. So it has more than enough storage than what we need. Moving back here, these are the steps to get into the door. So these actually retract when you start the engine automatically and then come out. Looks really fancy when they're coming in and out. We put this C-deck material on. We actually were doing a project on a boat and putting this material on the boat, and we had some left over, so we thought that it would be fun to put this on. It has held up all right. We did have to like glue some of the edges down, and it's a little bit dirty right now, but it's been kind of a nice improvement to the standard steps that were there. On this side, we have an entertainment center that we have never used. This is kind of the home for like the outdoor speakers and stuff that we don't use. In this door, we use this one a lot. This is where we store our outdoor mat. Right now we have our motorcycle cover, we have some yoga mats, and a solar panel that has been decommissioned. We'll get into that a little bit more, but this is kind of our main storage door right next to our entry where we put most of our stuff. And then one more door down, we have our propane. I don't actually know how big of a propane tank this is, but I will say that the only thing we run with it is our fridge when we're boondocking, and it can run our fridge for probably about 6 weeks on this one tank. So we try to use as little propane as we can because it's not the most convenient to go run out and get propane when you have an onboard tank like this. I know some newer RVs are doing like removable propane tanks, so you can take them out of the RV, bring them in somewhere, replace. But for this 2002, we have this onboard one. And then this door back here, we store our sewer hose, which is actually connected right now since we're stationary. We also have like our motorcycle straps, some leveling blocks, bottle jack, kind of all the exterior stuff that we need. We have all the equipment that is required to be able to change a tire if we need to. Luckily, we've gotten by without having to do that, but we did want to make sure that before we left for our trip, we had the materials to change the tire if we needed to. And that tire is located underneath here. There's actually like an extension tool to stick in, and you can lower the tire, and it's winched up to the frame. I'll address this thing since it's right here. This is our scooter that we took everywhere with us. It is on a rack on the back of our RV. So it's just a rack that goes into the hitch receiver. Nothing too extreme. It extends us about 3 feet in the back, so we probably get to about an overall length of 30. But this has been super nice to have a get around vehicle, and we have a whole video going over this. If you're interested in why we got this, make sure you check that out. Okay, this is our driver's side. This is where our slide comes out about 2 feet. So we'll show you on the inside, but this makes the inside just so much more livable. One thing I wanted to point out is we do have this cover that we put over our cab windows This is an absolute must-have if you have a C-Class. It does such a good job of blocking out all of the heat, and it really doesn't get too hot inside. So having an external cover like this as opposed to one on the inside, I think is a lot more effective. Another thing on this side that we really like is having these window awnings. These are not standard in newer RVs, but I think they used to be more common, but they're just these little awnings we can leave out pretty much in any weather. They're super durable, super rugged, and we can keep them out all the time. That's definitely an advantage over like the huge awning that goes on the other side of the RV. That typically has to come in when the winds start to pick up. But these we can keep out all the time and keep the windows nice and shaded and give us some privacy when we're on the inside. So we really like that. This door here on this side is where we keep some of our tools. We have a toolbox. We like Milwaukee a lot, so a lot of our stuff is like that, just in this bag so we can pick it up and carry around to us if we have to do a job. And then on this side is a lot of miscellaneous stuff. Definitely an important thing that we learned on the road is things do not always stay together. So we wanted to get a kit good enough to be able to tackle some jobs and be able to fix things as needed. In this door, we have our battery, which is a little hard to see right now. We have this cover that is kind of like a dust cover just to protect our battery a little bit. But if you lift this up, this is the EcoFlow Delta Pro. This runs everything in our RV. There used to be a generator in this space, so we dropped the generator out, put this battery in, and plugs right into the existing wires that were set up for the generator. This has been an absolute must-have for us, probably our favorite thing that we've added to the RV, and we have a whole nother video about this setup if you're curious about this as well. In this door, it's not quite as exciting. Let's see if I can get it open. This is the standard 12-volt battery. The one that we got with it died pretty quickly, so we replaced it with a lithium battery. This was actually, I think, one of our first projects that we did. We do have two separate systems, a lithium for our house battery, and then our EcoFlow works as kind of our generator that we kick on when we need it. And then on this back side, we have, this is where we fill up with gas. We hold 55 gallons of gas, so that was a little bit to adjust to when driving this around and filling it up at gas stations. Anywhere from, I would say, $100 to $200 to fill up this thing, depending on the location. It was definitely, I think the cheapest state we were in was Texas probably, and the most expensive California. So it just varied depending on where we were, but that's where we filled that up. And then this back door here is where we have all of our connections. So this is where we dump our black and gray tanks. This is where we connect the water into our systems. So we switch these levers back and forth depending on if we're boondocking or hooked up full like this. So right now we're connected to city water, but if we want to fill, we just switch this lever, fill up the tank, and then we can run on that for about a week. Also located back here is an outdoor shower. I don't think we've used this since we were on the road. We've used it some stationary, but that is where that is. One thing I forgot to mention on all the doors that I've gone around so far, another addition that we did was put these magnet catches on all these doors. We really like this. There was like the standard ones that sort of flip out and you have to like manually clip it in, but putting these magnet catches were so nice because the doors just stay on their own and then pull them down when you're ready to put it away. One other thing to point out, I didn't want to climb all the way up on the roof here, but right there we have Starlink mounted full-time to the roof, and then all these other things are our flexible solar panels. So I didn't want to go into detail because we have other videos outlining those, but these roof additions have been game-changing for our boondocking experience. Well, that's going to do it for the tour of the exterior. I think more people are probably interested in the interior, so I'm going to pass it off to Gabby to take a look at that.
Let's do it. Welcome to our humble abode. Is that what people say? Accommodation? Clearly we have our superstar right here. So it's very small yet very spacious. So let's start with the bedroom first. So we have all of this space, but our bed is elevated, which is pretty unique for a lot of RV models. Most RV models have like a back corner bed. Having a bed that's over the cab, not common, but we actually love it because we get so much more floor space for our living space. So I'll just crawl in here really quickly for a visual. So this is a queen size bed, but we actually have extenders on the end. So like I'm 5'7" and my feet are still probably pretty far from both ends. So yeah, we both fit very comfortably in here. And then over here, let me get down, show you this box. Hey! That's how I get down when Brendan doesn't carry me out of bed. But this box was actually something that Brendan built. And in this box, we have our motorcycle helmets, we have a space heater, just a bit of miscellaneous. And then what was super nice about this design is that underneath is where we have our shoe storage. Kick off our shoes, just throw them under. You don't realize that you have no idea where shoes go once you start living in a small space. So that's been super helpful. We have our TV and we have an Xbox mounted. So when we're in bed, we can just have our Xbox remote. We have 2 of them. We have some games. It's honestly, it's a pretty nice rainy day activity. So this is pretty much the front of the setup. I'll turn you to our living room area. And then we have this couch that we got off of Wayfair. And it was really hard to find a couch that fit this dimension because on the floor, you can see the slide out. This entire wall is a slide out. So on the floor, it becomes more narrow. So we had to find a narrow fitting couch. And this was one of the few that looked good, that fit the bill. We currently have a blanket there because Lila was getting it too dirty. So we have a nicer bed for her en route. We also have this ottoman here that we ordered, and this is super nice because honestly, this, for the most part, it's a lot of Lilo's stuff, especially her food. And it's really nice. So when you're hanging on the couch, you can just kick up your legs, be comfortable on my computer, watching TV. This setup here has worked out super, super well. So for our couch, we also have this ottoman for storage, but there's even storage under the couch. So if I move this over, we ordered these compartments off Amazon, which is very nice for keeping things organized. So we have like our backpacks here, we have our like bladders, extra sheets and blankets there. And then also we come over, I even have my guitar down here. So there's a lot of secret stuff that can be hidden under this couch that this ottoman actually kind of blocks out, which is super, super nice. So we've loved having all of the additional storage there. From here, I'll take you over to my office and where we eat. Honestly, just a nice place to have a space. When we were renovating the RV, we were undecided what we wanted. We knew we wanted a couch. We didn't know if we wanted an entire booth or just having stools on one side, but we kind of settled for a meet in the middle, which we're actually very happy we did. Because majority of my day, I'm right here, I open up my laptop and I'm working. So this has been such a comfortable work setup to have, but we love having these 2 kind of free floating chairs because it really opens up the space. We found that that worked well, and even the few times that we've had people over, if we're hanging out on the couch, you can just pull a chair and somebody else can just sit here and be pretty comfortable being a part of the area, to where if that was a booth, it would really be blocking off the space. And all of this, and this entire thing has been totally renovated. So like, I think we got this countertop from like restaurants.com. These chairs were Amazon. We found these cushions in a dumpster that somebody was throwing out, these beautiful cushions. And then these cushions is actually what we designed this box dimensions to be around. So if I take this off here, then underneath we have a ton more storage. Costco stuff right now, but typically that's Lilo's extra dog food storage. Last thing I'd want to mention, like I said, we renovated all of this. There was nothing here. We ripped everything out. The things that did stay were the cabinets. So we entirely painted the cabinets, which you can tell from going to a humid place to not humid if you close up. They're definitely kind of, the paint is shrinking to an extent. So there's a lot of little touch-ups that still need to be done, but the storage that's inside is pretty great. So we have food here, we keep our electronics over there. Kind of everything has its own place. And also a nice little upgrade that we did as well is underneath on the bottom of the cabinets, we have USB and USB-C plugins. So charging your phone, charging a laptop, you can be done in multiple areas by these cabinets. And as well as the color on the walls, that was all totally redone as well. So like a nice light gray, so hopefully there's a bit of an airy feeling in here. One other thing that's a bit odd to shout out is where the heck do you put your laundry in an RV? We're still struggling to answer this question. This bag that's just shoved right here, that's about it. So this is just like a travel laundry bag that we've just shoved behind this booth. We actually just ordered a brand new laundry bag on Amazon. So we ordered one with backpack straps. So I think that's gonna be awesome because when you're on the road needing to do laundry, there's been times that we've taken our bike to just ride it over to a KOA to do laundry there. So the thought of just having that in a backpack setup fits our lifestyle way better. Okay, moving on to the kitchen. I love our kitchen. For how small of an RV it is, the amount of countertop space you get is pretty ridiculous. So this has worked out super well. I also love our countertops. Huge shout out to Brendan on this one, as this is contact paper. Before it was just like a mica kind of yellowishy color, to where now we kind of have this like fake wood, and we've been living this for close to a year now, full time, and I'm shocked how well it's held up. Of course, new faucet and everything, but we have our dual sink here. We have all of our storage above for food and our kitchenware type stuff. Plenty of drawers. We have our trash can here, and then we also have a recycling bin back there. So it's nice to have both options. One of the most used items in our kitchen is the Ninja Speedy. I would say that this cooking appliance cooks like 90% of our meals. It's been so awesome to have. If you're not familiar with Ninja Speedy, look into one because they're so great. We have our microwave, and then this is our Starlink router. So our Starlink is connected right above. We fed it through the fridge vent, and then the cords pretty much come down to our router inside. We thought it was kind of weird to have it by the microwave, but before we had it above in this little storage cabinet, and it got pretty hot in there. So it's recommended to be in a better ventilated area. We didn't feel like installing a fan, put it there. It's worked great since. Then we have our fridge, dual powered fridge, either propane or electric, which is nice. Our fridge honestly holds a ton. I have no complaints about the size of it. 10 cubic feet, and I feel we could easily work with less. So it's nice to have that. The freezer, which is slamma-jamma right now, but it's been really good. We even have more storage. We have this little spice rack that pulls out. Once again, for the size of this RV, the storage that we have has been awesome. The one thing that takes up a decent amount of space that we've never used once is our oven. And underneath is this stovetop that we've never used once. Like I said, we use the air fryer for everything. It just makes life a whole lot easier. It's okay, at least it doesn't take up that much space. Okay, bathroom up next. Before I go there, one thing I wanted to shout out is our AC control panel here. Reason being is because we have our slide out right here, and when the slide is in, the slide comes probably about here, and you're left with about 2 to 3 inches to wedge your hand if you want to control the AC with the slide in. This could potentially be an upgrade for us to move this over so that way we can access it easier. Time being, I just kind of finesse my way through. That's a definite critique I have. And speaking of the slide out, a huge pro of this RV that we love, the entire RV is usable with the slide in. So countless times that we've camped at Walmarts or rest areas, when this slide is in, the entire RV is functional. Pretty much all that happens is I now just have a narrower hallway, but I can still walk through that hallway totally comfortably. That is a huge plus that I would say we would find as a non-negotiable if we were to look at a newer RV, that we would want everything to be functional with the slide being in. Now onto the bathroom. Coming in here, it's actually a pretty darn big bathroom for the size of the RV. So right here we have our shower, which is just kind of in the corner here. I'll open it up if you want to come take a look. So in the shower here, it's pretty much all you need. We have also an Oxygenics shower head, so that way it kind of conserves some water. So that's the shower over here. I'll turn on this light. Okay, and so now we get into the bathroom. So yeah, we did contact paper here, redid the faucet, all the light across the entire RV, all the lights are LED and new. But we have so much storage in the bathroom that like this corner cabinet is just a nightmare because things get thrown in there. So we're kind of excited to be in Key West for a bit so we can like organize a lot of this stuff better than just kind of throwing it in these open spaces. And then here, this door, which I love, it's not entirely full body, pretty darn close. Having somewhat of a full body mirror in an RV is so nice. And then in here, this is our toilet. So it's nice that you have a separate space for your toilet. It's really all the space that you need and even more storage in that mirror there. And in terms of where the heck do we store our clothes, this is our wardrobe. So if we open this up here, we have things that we want to hang. We bought this on Amazon so that way we can better organize. We stick our extra shoes here. And then we have our drawers just kind of for our smaller stuff. So here we can open them up and we have even more clothes in here. So this storage has been super nice. It all locks, stays put while we're driving. Last thing to touch on of things that we did renovate is the floor. The floor is a pretty big project that we did. It was actually one of the first things we did. We ripped out all of the old furniture. We knew we wanted a new floor. This is actually called life-proof flooring. So it's residential grade. It's super durable. Clearly we have a dog. Being outside, tracking in a whole bunch of dirt. We've never had an issue with this floor. So I've been super, super happy with that job. The paint everywhere has held up pretty well. Of course, there's a lot of little projects of things to do here and there. So definitely that will be one of our coming up videos of everything that broke when driving 10,000 miles across the country. What didn't hold up? Stay tuned for that video. And guys, if there's anything else that you want to see more of, maybe what this RV costs, what the renovation costs, what does RV living cost like, let us know. Leave those questions down in the comments below. Hopefully you guys found this enjoyable. Hit us up with any of your questions. We're happy to help. And until next week, guys.